Alright guys, welcome back to the vlog. So in this week's video, we are back traveling. I am at Tampa International Airport and I am about to be heading to Montgomery, Alabama because I did bring out that listing, Airbase Estates. It's an 89 unit mobile home park that we have listed for $2.7 million in Montgomery, Alabama. Interesting thing about this deal and why I'm actually flying out to go see it is one, everything I get as an exclusive listing, I always try and see in person so that way I get a feel for the deal and the actual real estate itself. And then two, this particular park has a lot of older homes, and the vacant homes that are there to be rehabbed, they're varying condition, so I want to see for myself whether these should be demolished or whether someone should assume they're going to demolish them, or if they're ones that are worth putting money into rehab rather than demolish and bring in new homes. So I have about 2 hours until the flight takes off, so I will see you guys once we touch down in Alabama. Stop the trip. I actually flew into Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm staying here the night. I'm at a cigar bar right now just to knock out some last minute work, but one thing I did want to mention, I did eat at Highland Tap Steakhouse in not downtown Atlanta, but it was like eastern Atlanta or something like that. It was really good steak, super old school place, had a prime rib that was like blackened, seared with like a crawfish tail topping, really fucking good. In the morning I'm gonna be waking up and heading out to get a rental car, then we're gonna drive to Montgomery, Alabama, which is about 3 hours from Atlanta. But I did want to show you guys a little bit of the deal and kind of give an overview of what exactly the park we're going to go look at is. It might be kind of hard to hear me because there's a lot of music, but bear with me guys. So this is my marketing package for this particular listing. This was originally a deal that was bought by the seller and it was in rough condition. We improved the park to where it is now, filled a lot of the vacancies, started selling off parkland homes on rent-to-own contracts. And right now he has the occupancy up to, this is pretty much the breakout of the park. He has occupancy almost full. I mean, he only has 15 vacant park-owned homes and 3 vacant lots. The big thing that I'm going to actually see this park for is these 15 vacant park-owned homes. I need to know whether they, in my opinion, can be rehabbed or if a new investor is going to want to demolish these homes like I mentioned earlier. To give you guys a visual of what this park looks like, you can see there's older homes and it's not the prettiest park ever. And from what I've heard from other investors I've already been talking to on this deal is that it's actually a rougher park that a lot of guys don't want to take on. But on the flip side, this is what the park looks like. But this is the main road right here going into central Montgomery. So to show you guys the map, so you can see this is Montgomery, and right here is the Air Force Base. Airbase Estates is essentially right across the street. And then the Montgomery Whitewater Development, and it's a big whitewater rafting attraction. It just was developed and opened in July, which is a couple months ago, like 7 minutes down the road. So there's clearly a lot of economic growth in this area. Montgomery's a high growth market, even though I still get mixed reviews on it. Since I have this listed and I'm trying to maximize the value of it for the seller, I gotta kind of squeeze as much value as I can. So if I can see that there's some homes there that do have some intrinsic value and can be rehabbed, that's gonna help me make an argument towards the upside of the park, rather than someone having to spend $5, $6, $7, maybe even $8,000 demolishing a home, but then having to go spend anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 to bring a new home in. So that's the main reason why I'm out here driving that park. We are on the way to Montgomery, Alabama. I'm back in a minivan again. They literally keep giving me Chrysler Pacifica minivans every time I get a rental car for some reason. They seem to always be out, so we're riding in style. So I have a $6.5 million 135 unit deal in Wapaton, North Dakota. Just got the listing agreement signed. I do have to call the seller because he wrote in letters rather than actually signing the document, so I have to get a DocuSign to him. So I gotta call him. And then after that, I also have a Denver, Colorado deal that I did an evaluation on. I'm gonna shoot that over to him in an email. I usually run through him on Zoom, but this time I'm gonna be just calling him because I'm on the road.
Morning, Ahmad.
Eric, good morning. How you doing? Good. Hey, I saw the signed listing agreement from you. I noticed that you just filled in letters for the initials on the PDF. The signature for the listing agreement, I need to have my transaction girl send it to you in DocuSign. So I'll have her do that today. I'll shoot you a text. It's easy as you just click into it. You can click 2 buttons and you're good to go. I emailed you a timeline of when I think I can get this launched. I'll get drone photos ordered today, and then there's some financials on there. I want to see like the profit loss statements and things like that. So if you haven't checked your email, whenever you get the chance. Yeah, typically it'll be a buyer generated contract, but one thing I'll do is on the front end. So us as the broker, we're not supposed to give legal advice technically on the contract, but on the initial front end, specifically when the buyer's presenting the contract. I mean, before if they're sending something that reps and warranties like everything to like the nickel of collections, I always push back on the front end to make sure it's at least within reason before you waste your time having an attorney look at it. So what I typically prefer to do is once we have the contract, I'll redline things myself of what I think is normal or what's fair before you send it to the attorney. That way at least we can kind of get through, because I don't want your attorney to start racking up hours and hours and hours. And then if there is a lot of pushback, I typically try and just get a direct conference call with the attorney, so that way they don't go back and forth with 10 rounds of red lines. If it was like a seller finance type deal, then I'd recommend we get a North Dakota specific attorney, because there's going to be state laws around that. But this is going to be a clean bank deal from a national buyer, I assume. So I would just do a really good real estate national attorney that does mobile home park transactions, and I have a bunch that I can recommend. But like I said, once we get towards that path, then we can talk about it further. All right, thank you, Eric. Sorry, I wanted you guys to hear it, but the audio in this rental car is too bad. So worth noting about that call, that is a deal that I am now bringing out as a listing. That's a guy who actually approached me for a free valuation on my website, fully automated. Didn't even speak to the guy by the time he sent me financials. So if you want to learn how I do source deals like that, where I don't even have to talk to people and it basically comes to me, CRE Deal Accelerator, link is in bio, deal sourcing guide. I am coming out with a deal sourcing course for investors, agents, brokers, and wholesalers. So anyone looking for more off-market deals, I got you. What I wanted to really clarify with him was, as a broker, when I'm bringing out a listing for a prospective owner, what I want to do is make their life as easy as possible. So all of the financials I get on the front end, I look at it as if I'm a buyer and think, what are these questions I'm going to be asking off of the info on the park? So that way I can get it all done in this big property questionnaire I have, so that whenever anyone's asking questions on the deal, rather than going off of memory, forgetting things here and there and having to go back to the seller, I have a property questionnaire done so I can reference to, that I get done on the front end with every possible question you can think of. That way I can always answer new buyers' questions that are oncoming over time. And along with my marketing package, which will be the rent roll, profit loss statements, utility bills, pictures on the property, my underwriting, things like that, I also include this property questionnaire, so that way if anyone's asking a whole slew of questions, I could just say, hey, the property questionnaire is attached, go there, and it saves me a lot of time as the broker, and it makes things way more clear cut for all parties. Christian Hasner.
Hey, what's up?
Can you hear me? I'm on like a car speaker.
Yeah, I can hear you.
If you got a minute, can you pull up the Colorado deal really quick? All right, I know we're pretty straightforward on that. What's the land look like really quick? Yeah, it's straightforward expenses, right?
Yeah, pretty clean. Don't have anything for staff, but
considering he's doing 32.4, maybe we do
15 grand.
Yeah, that way at least it lines up with his numbers.
Well, he's got an on-site manager who gets a concession.
Actually, then yeah, leave the concession. Management fee, yeah, because it's a small park. It's not like it's big. Yeah, it should be fine.
So we had it at the 435 number, which is where he was at. I think before we were at like 3.9, so we're pretty close.
All right, do you think we should go to 65 LTV and then lower the purchase price? Because I'm thinking, would someone want to put...
60.
Dude, is everyone putting 40% down now, or are we just trying to stretch the numbers? Because like, fuck what this guy wants. I'm gonna just tell him like what it really is.
I mean, I'm trying to stretch it a little bit, but 65 is probably fine. I think that's where most people are lending at the highest right now.
Yeah. All right, let's put the high-end price to 3.9 like we talked about. And we're at 8.5% because we're assuming someone finances the park on home income.
Yep.
So I know you mentioned like a comp at like 150K a pad. Is there anything else that like supports it? That's like similar size, or is that 150K comp like a big park?
No, I think the park was like 40 spaces.
Oh shit! All right. Can you add a note like to the interest rate saying If someone's going to finance park on home income, it's going to be a higher interest rate, like 8.5. Then I would make a note to the 1.23 that it should be 1.25 is the metric we target. We're right around there with the 1.23. Maybe make a note to the 152,000 per site, saying we know of a few comps in the 150K per pad range. So our underwriting does line up with recent trades in the area. But I'm not going to do an Excel presentation to the guy. I'm just going to call him because he's not a dude.
Okay.
He's not a dude that wants to list anyway. So.
All right, I'll send it over.
Okay, you're the man. Thank you, Christian. So we're pulling up to the Airbase Estates Mobile Home Park right now. There is actually the front sign, Airbase Estates. So roads are definitely in rough shape. It is worth noting that I'm early to meeting the guy I'm supposed to, but it's, I guess I'll do a little drive-through so you guys get to kind of see what this place looks like. So right off the bat, I mean, it's in rougher shape than I hoped, but, you know, it's all part of the game. Things that I look for is obviously age of the homes. Everything in here is an older 1970s homes. All these metal siding type homes are older than what we want, but it is what it is. So here's a clubhouse where it looks like there could be a shuffleboard or something, but I mean the layout's okay. There's the dumpsters by GFL. There's more old homes. We keep driving around, get like a good video walk through this place, and then pull up to where the manager is and get going from there. So it's like a mix of gravel and paved. Now coming around to this other section I'm driving into, this is part of the park, but this is like an actually relatively newly paved road. Looks a little bit better. It's on the outside of the entrance, but these homes also do belong to the park. Yeah, overall, this isn't really not the best look I was hoping for. It does actually look a good bit worse than I was hoping, but it's part of the game. It is part of the game. So I am pretty much done with work for the day. I do have a few emails and stuff to send out, but I figure while I'm in Montgomery, I'll let you guys see a little bit of the town. This is my first time here, actually. And they have like a waterway area. It's a little bright, but pretty cool. What do they call this? They call this the Civil Heritage Trail, City of Montgomery. Alabama's cosmopolitan city, following the city rights movements, cultural, economic hub. Oh, that's cool. Looks like they do like kayaking events. Very cool. Like I mentioned earlier, when I'm in these cities, I try and go out, do fun things. Although this particular trip, I'm trying to stay responsible and keep work going. Not going to bars and partying this time because I'm actually here alone. So it is really cool sometimes that you get to travel a lot in the business of real estate because you kind of work from anywhere, but it does get boring when you do last minute trips like this by yourself. So opinions on the park that I just drove, I am actually not too confident it's selling at the 2.7 million price we have it out there for, mainly because it's not a good cap rate day one and it'll be hard to get it financed. But if we make the pricing a little closer to 2.3, 2.4, then it can make sense. But based on my underwriting on it, and I increased like road work up to 100K because I assume you're gonna repatch those roads and everything. If you raise the rents, fill the occupancy all the way, you could get good returns on the park. And in my like 10-year, I have like a 25% IRR by year 5, but it'll be tough to get it there. So what I am doing next is tomorrow morning I fly out to Columbus, Ohio, and I'm actually gonna go be visiting my half brother and his family. There's like the Bratwurst Festival out there, and they live in Bucyrus, Ohio, so I'll be out there. Today I'm probably gonna do one restaurant in town. I gotta find one that's a good restaurant or something cool. Yeah, we'll go from there. Not sure if I'll keep recording tonight, but I'll call it from here. Appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget CRE Deal Accelerator, free guides in the bio if you want to get into real estate. or if you need help finding deals.